champs and feel the power.
It's a hot take. Yes, it is. There we go. Yep, I did that. My way.
All right, welcome to the Hot Take Wrestling Podcast. I am your boy, Logan the Machine, aka Old Man Logan, here today with the host with the most. You guys know him as Craft Beer Poppy. You guys know him as Whiskey Sour Kenny. You guys know him as the other KG. I just simply know him as Ken Gardner.
Let me just say this right now. On this day, I see clearly that Peacock is going to edit out Edge and Lita's celebration. That's all I got.
No rated R celebration.
No. It's all getting banned.
Peacock is shit. It's all bad. It's all bad. It's all downhill from there.
It's all downhill. Although I'll give Peacock credit because I don't need to see Triple H and company in blackface. Y'all get a round of applause for that.
So you don't want to smell what the crock is cooking?
No, I don't. Racist bastards. I was giving him, you know what? Real quick, I gave him a pass for that, which is bad enough. Then he came talking about Booker T got nappy hair and he did a dance. I felt a certain way after that, but I digress.
That one's racist. But come on, that was just good entertainment at that time.
People like you don't do what people like me do. Whatever. I'm gonna go to the guy. I'm gonna go to the guy now that mixes and masters, get this thing sounding right, adds the sound effects, switches the music for the WCW. You guys know him as Mr. Joe Freeline. I just know him as Joe Freezy.
What's up, y'all? Appreciate y'all watching the last episode. Shouts out to Thunder Rose. I'm still not over my crush on her. I still love her. That's it.
Did you hop in the DMs yesterday?
I did not. Because her story wasn't like DM worthy for me to be like, what's up? Like I didn't have a DM worthy story to be like heart eyes emojis, 100 smile face emoji. You know, I didn't have it in me right there, so I couldn't do it. Not yet. But I'm on
it. All right. And we have a guest. We finally have a guest on the show. We're gonna swing it on over to him so he can introduce himself, let you guys know what's going on with him, what's moving and grooving and shaking over there.
Stop. I got it. Wait, stop. I want to introduce him the way you introduce people because that's how you do it. Okay.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to the drumming enthusiast, one of the coldest drummers in Chicago. Also has his own podcast popping, all types of things. That's right. We involve wrestling, music, and all types of Americana in here. Mr. Fonzo Jones, please introduce yourself to the people.
Good evening, greetings and salutations, all of my favorite wrestling people. I am happy to be here. I am the man that Keith Lee got his swag from. I am the Alfonso Jones. Thank you very much.
I feel like we need a broom, like Kenny Omega's sweepers.
Hey, before he said it, I swear I was sitting there thinking greetings and salutations. That's totally a good start right there. Totally a good start.
I think, he stole my whole swag, man. I walk into places and say greetings and salutations. And when I met him in Indianapolis, he saw it and he was like, "That is my thing. I'm stealing that." And I was like,
"You saw you right before we try out." That's mine now. It's mine.
All you got to do is find you a bay that's half and half. You get the best of both worlds. You get fried rice and fried chicken.
Man, yeah. Yep. Let all the black people say amen.
Amen.
Let's get into it, man. Let's get right into it.
I'm just glad Vincent, we're supposed to acknowledge him as a machine. I'm just glad, they were so lazy with Retribution. I'm just glad they didn't nickname her Chopsticks.
That's right up his alley to do,
or ramen.
Or just put R's in front of her name and call her Rhea Rim.
Oh my God! Okay, Jesus,
this is a rabbit hole. Sorry, go ahead. But you know what? I'll pick up from here, ladies and gentlemen. we're all gonna do like a highlight. One highlight. We're gonna get into NXT Stand and Deliver. But we'll do one highlight. Doesn't matter what show. What was one highlight of the week? I'll start off with Tim.
One highlight of the week. Let's see. I'm gonna go with NXT, and I loved the confrontation that we had, or the promo rather, from Ciampa in regards to his NXT UK title match that will be taking place at Takeover. I'm excited, man. Ciampa has been, I want to say maybe since the Karrion Kross feud, he's kind of, he's been down there, in the mid card, not really being utilized as prominently as he could. He had a great match with Timothy Thatcher, got Thatcher over. But I'll be honest, man, I've been waiting for him to get back to the main event space. And dude, when I say I'm looking forward to the chops that's gonna take place, this is gonna be one for the books. So that's my one main highlight for this week.
It's gonna be a hard hitting match.
Totally.
Are you going to give him we're going to give that guy the proper introduction, or we're going to Americanize? We're going to go to Walter, or we're going to go with Walter?
I think Walter. I don't care what anybody says.
I tried to say Walter, but sometimes Walter just comes out. But I try to do it right most of the time.
It's like
it's spelled Walter. I'm calling Walter. It's spelled that way.
That's all that matters. Joe, what was the highlight from you this week?
Highlight for me this week was AEW, and I am going to go with the impending storyline of Moxley and the Young Bucks versus the Good Brothers and Kenny Omega. Could this be something of what we've seen in the Indies, where it was the Golden Lovers versus the Young Bucks, when the Young Bucks all of a sudden became heavyweight tag team champions, or were on the goal with NJPW? Or is this a whole new storyline and they're mixing different stuff up? One, it's intriguing. And two, I just love John Moxley because I feel like since he left WWE, he can do no wrong in anything he touches. He just does no wrong. And that's with that or whatever. And there were so many other highlights for AEW, but I don't want to take them all. So I'm just going to go with that one. That's the only one I'm going with. So I suggest if you have it on your DVR, please go watch AEW Dynamite and also go watch AEW Dark, because there were some good things in there. That's foreshadowing for those of you who watch wrestling.
Absolutely. Alfonso, how about you?
I'm also going to go with AEW. It was Christian Cage's first match after 7 years, him versus Cass. That was a great, nearly 20-minute match to open the show, and it set the bar super high for the rest of the show and schooled a lot of those new wrestlers and the young wrestlers on how to do it. That's what I feel.
Nice.
Absolutely. It taught people how to sell instead of just doing like 80 moves at once and then just getting the Fight Forever chance. Like,
right. They that pacing. The pacing of that match was just beautiful. It wasn't too slow. It wasn't too fast. Everybody got their stuff in. It was great.
Absolutely. For me, I'm gonna, it's just almost like NFL countdown, right? One person picks one show. Not that Tim was wrong, because I'm definitely excited about Ciampa and Walter. But I'm gonna go AEW and Arcade Anarchy match or whatever. Miro and Sabian versus Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor, Chucky T, or Charles, as Miro calls him. They just beat the crap out of each other. I mean, every time they put best friends in these spots, these main event spots, they deliver. Last year with that street fight against Santana and Ortiz, or Proud and Powerful, that was amazing. This was amazing. It just, people going through tables, people going through arcade machines. You got the return of Chris Statlander, who is easily one of the more believable women's wrestlers on their roster. It was a hit right there. I can't say anything negative about that match.
I have one thing that was negative about that match. One negative was the arcade machine that just had tokens on the screen. They just had a printout picture of tokens. That bothered me so much. And Miro just picked it up like it was like just a box with tokens on it, and I was just like, "Oh, this is so." But that was the only downside, like for real.
Okay.
Quick question: did Miro scare Trent's mom? Did he scare her?
He might have,
because he was like about to break the windshield wipers and shit. I was like,
Sue's van wasn't prepared for that. You know what? And shouts out to Miro, because I like how AW acknowledges their past. He tells Kip Sabian, he's like, "Let me tell you this right now. Having your wife at ringside is the worst thing possible for your wrestling career." So I thought that was hilarious. Ah, man.
Even though I'm sure she'll join him in AEW soon as her contract is up.
Well, she signed a long term though. She signed like a 5-year. She re-upped. So
yeah,
she will be there. So yeah. So she'll be there.
She need to try to get up out of that. Like ASAP Rocky, she got to get up out of there. Like, you know what? If they just start utilizing her as maybe an announcer or just go back to being a manager, I'd be totally fine with her being around for the next 5 years. But as an in-ring performer, nah, I'm good on that. Like,
she wasn't trash. She was decent this week. She was okay when they went.
No.
I think if she changed the way her psychology is in the ring, like she's always doing this, like I'm new to this. I'm like surprised that I'm able to pull this move off. I think if she like, I think if she like changes the mentality of her wrestling and be like, this is like if she turns into like a badass, I think she'll be better. It'll come out better.
Y'all remember that dude Eugene that had the like white satin jacket?
Eugene could wrestle.
Eugene could wrestle, but it was just that's what that reminds me of. Like the surprise, like he says, "Oh my God, I did this move. I was able to pull it off."
Oh my God, I can wrestle.
She was better, bro. Like she was like legit better a lot better this week.
Yo, let me tell you how messed up the machine is. This dude had a handicapped wrestler and a one-legged wrestler.
Let her be like Mercedes Martinez manager or Shayna's manager. Like, let her get back into what she's great at. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I hate when they start making the managers just become wrestlers. Like, Zelina Vega was different because she actually could wrestle, but they didn't really let her show that bad. You know what I mean? But she was money on that mic, and that's what she is to me. Like, you put her where she can be utilized the best at. And I don't know, but yeah.
Let me tell you one thing about Zelina Vega before we get into our NXT predictions. Her swag is on a whole nother level. It's like that makes me just wonder what Aleister Black, aka what's his real name, Tommy Yen. What is your swag like, sir? Because she got a certain je ne sais quoi, as they say.
Yes, you do.
And it's just like, how did you pull her? What are you doing?
It looks like
share the secrets.
It looked like Alistair got a little juice, when he put the stuff away, the gimmick away, man.
It's that beard. That's all it is.
Getting that bag, man.
Yeah, all he had to do was
their YouTube channel does well, and he's just a cool dude. Like he
seems super cool, yeah. Like
really laid back and really cool.
Interview, just like WWE, just like WWE creative, Thea Trinidad didn't have anything for Austin Aries.
Yikes!
I went there. It's early in the show. Whatever. We'll get into NXT Standard Deliver predictions though after since we just covered all of our highlights. Ladies and gentlemen, they have 10 matches on the card. There's night 1. There's night 2. We'll start with night 1. Match I'm looking forward to: Kushida versus Pete Dunne. Alfonso, who do you got in this match?
I am going with Pete Dunne. Because I feel like he is, he's the one that they're in favor of right now. I think they got plans for Pete Dunne, especially now that like overseas is opening back up and they're able to get him over back to NXT UK. So I think they're building him up for NXT UK to put that back on the map. So that's my prediction is Pete Dunne.
Tim?
I am going to agree with Alfonso. I think Pete Dunne's on the rise. He's one of those guys that's getting ready to hit that main event. Depending upon what happens with Karrion and Finn, I probably would have said the opposite, but I don't think they're going to put Kushida into that main event picture just yet anyway. I think with the unification of the Cruiserweight title and then the North American Championship, he's shown he can have a good matches with Ciampa. So I think that's where he's headed. But yeah, Pete Dunne is, I wouldn't mind seeing Pete Dunne versus Finn again or Pete Dunne versus Karrion Kross. So I think this is how he makes his ascent to the top, and that's who you go with.
I want to go with Kushida. And the only reason I want to go with Kushida is just because I feel like with his mean streak and with what's going on right now, they have to start being able to put him in a position where he looks strong again. Like he had a really good match with Johnny Gargano, an amazing match with Johnny Gargano. He had a really good match where he was tag team with Leon Ruff too. Like he's been having good matches, finally let him get over the hump. Like, let him get over the hump finally, whatever. Because Pete Dunne's established. No matter what he does, he can go back to NXT UK. He can stay here if he wants to and work at NXT. Like, either way it goes. But at some point, you got to push Kushida over the envelope because you invested in him, so push him over the hump. Go Kushida. And if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. Fuck it. Yeah.
Absolutely. You know what? Kushida's been through a lot, man. You know what? He's imitating Marty McFly, but he's on NXT TV. He's went through, he's time traveled. He lost his tag team partner to Impact. We thought we were getting the time splitters back with him and Alex Shelley. But that being said, I have to agree with Alfonso and Tim here. I'm going with Pete Dunne just because you turn someone heel, you have to have a purpose for them. They kind of hot shot him to the main event, I feel like, with that when they turned him. Not that he wasn't deserving, but like we knew he wasn't taking the title off of Finn Balor. But with that being said, you got to kind of keep him relevant enough to whatever you do with him, whether you send him back to NXT UK or keep him in NXT TV. I feel like you need to position him better. And maybe this is why they shouldn't have gone with this match, because it's two guys that neither one of them really need a loss like right now. I'm just gonna go with Pete Dunne though. It's just an instinct right now. I don't know if I'm right or wrong. This is a toss-up one, as we call it.
Can I throw this in there? I think the first feud for Karrion Kross after this Finn Balor thing will be Pete Dunne.
I can see that because they kind of have Karrion in a tweener role capacity because he just feuded with Santos Escobar. And now he's feuding with Finn Balor, but he also had that brief encounter with Oney Larkin and Danny Burch. So absolutely,
that's the next next big takeover main event. Pete Dunne versus Karrion Kross.
Oh man.
And transition from night 1 to night 2, we have a gauntlet match. We have Leon Ruff, who's too good for this podcast, apparently. We also have LA Knight, also known as, what was his name? Eli Drake.
Eli Drake.
Should have let that man keep his name. Give that man his flowers. Anyway, we also have the Colossus. I don't know if this was based off of Attack on Titan, but we have Colossus Bronson Reed from Colossal Titan. Get what I'm getting at. We also have, who else am I missing? We have Cameron Grimes. As Tim likes to. Big money Cameron Grimes. I don't know if that's who else am I leaving? Oh, we have the one with the swerve. We got Swerve with Swagger Scott, aka this. There's someone on this podcast that's similar to that guy with his swagger. We thank goodness he hasn't gotten a red streak in his hair. Well, who else do we have in that? I'm just burying everyone, am I? We also have Dexter Loomis. Dexter Loomis. He's in there as well. I believe it's the 6 competitors. Gentlemen, I'll start with Tim. Who are you picking to win this gauntlet match?
Cameron Grimes. No. Oh man. They have. I want Dexter to get this, man. I feel like this is Dexter Loomis' moment, but there's so many good candidates in this match. Like, oh man. I wouldn't be mad if Cameron Grimes won either, but screw it. I ain't gonna go Dexter Loomis. Swerve versus the scrappy Leon Ruff. I think that's a nice little feud that's taking its, saying that's still cultivating and still has a lot there. Both of those guys can go in the ring, so I'm good with just seeing them in their own little one-off feud. LA Knight and my main man Bronson Reed, they got their feud going, so I think that's what's going to kind of carry over to the next takeover. And let's see, it really only truthfully leaves Dexter or Cameron, and I'm gonna go Dexter because he's had this long, nice little storyline taking place with Gargano. And what is Gargano's stable called? Is it? Did they give him a name?
It's the Way.
The Way. So yeah, he's had this feud with them for a nice little while now, and I think this is how you put a nice little bow on it, or you continue it and you let him win this and then go on to fight Gargano for that North American Championship.
Absolutely. Alfonso, who you picking?
I'm also going with Dexter Loomis. And the reason I didn't go with Cameron Grimes is because he has a feud brooding with Roddy right now.
Yep.
So everybody in the match has a feud except for Dexter Loomis. And what's the lady name that's in the way right now? Lockhart.
Hartwell?
Yeah, Hartwell.
Indy,
She is
indie wrestling.
Indy. She's in a crush storyline with Dexter Lumis, so it only kind of goes along with the way situation right now. If you look at her Instagram or Twitter, she's indie wrestling Loomis right now. So
oh wow.
She on a whole nother level. She's trying to do something nasty with Dexter. I don't know what's going on there.
Again, much like how I said I was jealous of Cody, now I'm jealous of Dexter.
She was a WCW, right?
She never was.
Yeah, no, she was.
But was she? Oh yeah, she was.
She was.
I'm gonna tell you this right now, and Joe, please edit this out.
Nope.
I'm telling you, you're not editing this out. I can't say
nothing out anymore.
I can't say it then.
Yes, you can.
Thug Life.
You want me to go Thug Life?
Controversy breeds cash.
You don't want me to go Thug Life.
A wise man said that.
I'll save it.
Yeah, you gonna save it? I'm
gonna save it because it's X-rated.
Why are you thinking about it, and why are you thinking about saying it or not? I'm just gonna say that I'm gonna go with a wild card here and go LA Knight. Why am I doing LA Knight? Well, why not? Because damn it, I don't know. I don't want to go with the obvious pick with Dexter Lumis because I feel like Dexter is kind of due, but I feel like the way the storyline is. No, you know what? No, I'm not going with anybody. Catch you trying Gargano. Can I go with him? I'm going with him. All right, we're gonna make this.
Well, he's facing the winner of that match.
He's facing the winner.
We'll get into that later.
At the end of the day, he's gonna face.
He ain't facing Vacant. You got to pick somebody in this match for in the face.
Just go ahead. Cameron Grimes.
Okay, I'm going LA Knight.
Okay.
To the moon.
So, to the moon. Why I want to go to Mr. To the Moon? He's in his back. Apparently he's got a stimulus check as well. I am not going with Cameron Grimes. This is almost a consensus. I'm going with Dexter Lumis here just because everyone else has a feud. Doesn't really make much sense to get anyone else involved. We just saw Leon Ruff in the Nxt North American Championship picture. They're not going to revisit there. Him and Swerve have his thing going on. They're not going to do Swerve and Gargano. Doesn't make a lot of sense because even though they're both heels right now. You can do heel versus heel, but it just doesn't. There's no build. LA Knight, like you said, he got this thing going with Bronson Reed. Cameron Grimes. He's just all over the place. I'll go with Loomis just because there's a thing with the way already. So it just makes the most sense to do that match with him and Gargano. Moving on, we have a match we were talking about before we went on to recording. We have Tommaso Ciampa challenging Walter as Nigel McGuinness, the great Nigel McGuinness calls him. Tim, who are you picking?
Man. I'm definitely going to go with my main man, Ciampa. I definitely think he's going to, like I said, I think I said this on last episode, they have people, that just don't want to go to the main roster because they know when they go there, they're either going to drop the ball or it's just going to be a horrible experience for them. And look at the track record. We're going to start with Bo Dallas, okay? You look at Bo Dallas, you look at Big E, you look at Seth, you look at Roman, you look at Dean, formerly Dean, the artist formerly known as Dean. And then you look at the other classes that have come up since then, Andrades, the Alistairs, the Shinsuke's, the
Finn Balor.
The Finn Balor's, like it
Sami Zayn great until now.
Zayn, yeah, it's not a great track record when it comes to them successfully transitioning to the main roster from NXT. And how could I forget Bobby Roode? Like, look how Bobby Roode was down there versus where he's placed on the card now. This dude had everybody in attendance singing his theme song. And it went from that to now I'm just glorious.
He's not even a tag team with nobody asked for.
Yeah.
The Dirty Dogs.
So I know I went all the way around the world to answer this question, but I feel like this is a good way to utilize talent that don't necessarily want to go to the main roster, or they instead the alternative could be to possibly go over to NXT UK. And I think this is what we're going to get ready to see with Ciampa, and this is eventually is going to end up giving us a plethora of feuds that we wouldn't have seen normally because he would have went to a Raw or to a SmackDown. And when we did see them go up there for that hot cup of coffee, him and Gargano was in the midst of a feud, and they went to the main roster for those couple of matches, and they were a tag team. They were DIY all over again. Like, what happened to the feud?
You know what? Sheamus lazy ass ruined that too. He almost damn near broke Ciampa's leg with his. That's a whole other story about somebody that shouldn't be getting pushed. I'll move on before I get into to go off on the exchange.
But yeah,
Joe. Go ahead. Go ahead, Tim.
Ciampa for the W. I just wanted to make sure I get.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna go with Walter. And the reason I'm gonna go with Walter just because it's Walter. And I think Tim forgot that it's fucking Walter. No, because no offense, because his pick makes perfect sense. Don't get me wrong, but it's Walter. Like this is Walter. this is Walter. I don't know if you saw how hard he hit Adam Cole. Where Adam Cole,
I saw
Adam Cole did a shooting star press after a chop. I just want that put that perfectly clear. Walter, we've seen him face Pete Dunne. I don't know if you remember that match either when he slapped Pete Dunne. What about who's the other one that was with Tony Storm? What's his name?
Tyler Bate.
Bate.
That's a whole other story because that dude, he dropped the ball so bad with her. I heard. Please edit this one out too.
I'm not. Nothing.
I don't want the LGBTQ community on me.
No editing. Look,
there's no editing.
Well, then I won't say it then.
Tell the LGBT community that I want Sonya Deville. I want the smoke.
I'm out of this. I'm putting this. I'm Pat McAfee right now. Anyway, Joe, go back.
At this juncture, I'm going to go with Walter, and we're going to disregard those last 15, 20 seconds.
No, we're not. To what you say, I simply state that Walter also was the first person to get eliminated in Survivor Series. Was it 2 years ago?
Oh, I was so heated about that.
God.
He was the most.
He was over.
V-trigger. Boom. Right there.
When he was, my bad. He was over. Like, bro, like, at his peak. One, I'm going with Walter because I feel like if you put Ciampa in there, who's he face after? You know what I'm saying? Like who does he go to after Nxt UK? Like they have
Rampage Brown.
Oh, yeah. But see, like that's what I'm saying. Like, is it gonna be like a money move where it's like a Charlotte move where now you're like building the women's division because now you have a prevalent face that everybody knows to make them go watch NXT, or is it like because I don't even know what time NXT UK comes on.
Like 2 or 3 o'clock our time, I think.
3 p.m. Yeah.
All right, and I can't name more than 3 wrestlers on NXT UK. So
he's not lying. I probably can name maybe 4.
And
which is sad because they had one of the best matches last year. Him and Walter and Ilya Dragunov.
And their takeovers are money. Every NXT takeover that I've watched, NXT Cardiff, NXT Liverpool, all money. Great takeovers. Can't name one or more people than a roster.
So thank you for continuing to make my case for Ciampa winning.
Yes.
Well, no.
But I'm still with Walter.
Fonzo, who you picking?
I'm going with Walter, but I'm going to say about this match is I think they're going to try to do the Dragunov match, but harder. It's gonna be worse because people are actually gonna be there to egg them on.
Oh yeah.
But I'm going with Walter just because I think Rampage is next for the UK title. Even though he's not going to win.
This is going to get uncomfortable. Yeah. This match is going to get uncomfortable for people. It's going to be probably one of the more brutal matches you'll ever see without weapons involved. And I said that last year about Walter and Ilya Dragunov, but this is going to be a repeat, if not worse.
I think 10 times worse than Dragunov.
And I'm surprised. That's why I'm surprised you're putting this on the USA Network. Because this is actual like live TV, but we'll see.
Is it night one?
Yeah, that's why I'm. Yeah.
Oh, is that main eventing night one?
No, main event is. We'll get into that later, but that's not the main event. They have announced the main event. But with that being said, I'm going to go with Walter just because I feel like we're not going to necessarily get a unification, but I feel like I'm foreshadowing who I'm picking. But I'm going with Walter because I feel like we're going to get Walter. Well, I guess this is my pick. So I'm kind of getting to my pick for night 2, but I feel like we're gonna get Walter versus Karrion Kross. So I'm picking Walter. I don't know if it'll be unification, but it might be champion.
Oh, champion. By the way, this Walter versus Ciampa thing has happened in PWG. It lasted 10 minutes before people couldn't deal with them chopping each other anymore. Like, I swear to God. 2012, 13, somewhere in there probably. And they literally spent 10 minutes chopping each other to the point where people were doing this. Like, oh God, like they're gonna kill each other.
I'm predicting blood from Ciampa's chest at the 8 minute and 30-second mark.
Oh yeah,
and he had the perfect feud to lead up to this. He had the whole thing with Timothy Thatcher right before this, so that was the precursor.
Preparation.
He might break Walter's jaw with his knees. Like they're gonna try and kill each other.
It's gonna be awesome, man. It's gonna be awesome.
It is. Such good shit.
Such good shit.
It's such good shit. Yeah.
That being said, moving on.
SGS.
That's the shirt. That's the shirt.
Moving on to the triple threat for the vacant NXT Tag Team Championship. You got MSK versus Legado del Fantasma versus the grizzled young veterans. I hope I did that properly. Anyway, Joe, who you picking?
Grizzled young veterans because they're due. That's it. Like I don't really know what the NXT UK picture is for tag teams, but they're due. Grizzled young veterans have been in the final for the Dusty Road Classic twice, and they've come up short twice. They're due. You owe them something. Give them these tag titles to make them legit. You owe them. Let them be like break a record and be tag team champions on both brands. One of the first to ever do it. You owe them that. They've given you good ass matches in the final. You might as well give it to them. Do not give it to MSK. Please, God, don't give it to MSK. Develop more of a presence in the tag team division. Because as the Rascals on Impact, oh, they're amazing. They're great. They're great or whatever. But this is like WWE now. Like you gotta do promos and stuff too, and they're like gotta be decent promos where they're good, and not just like funny ass promos where you're watching like that was cool and shit. Like I get it, but if that's their like lane. Let them be prevalent in the division, and they're not really prevalent in the division. Grizzly Young Veterans are. GYV is, they're due. You owe them. Pay them their money.
Wait, bro, how are they not prevalent in the division and they just won the Dusty Rhodes Classic?
Bro, that's a one-off. That's a one-off. Because I'll put you like this. Who did MSK beat to get to the championship? Who did they beat?
No, it wasn't Timothy Thatcher and Ciampa. Who was it?
They beat Legado del Fantasma, if I'm not mistaken. Because I remember. No, the finals were MSK versus Grizzled Young Veterans. Because I thought it was going to be because Grizzled Young Veterans beat Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher in semifinals. I believe they beat Legado del Fantasma in the semifinals.
Do you guys remember that match the way you remember DIY versus APA? Not APA, Authors of Pain. AOP.
Yeah. APA. AOP.
Yeah.
AOP. Do you guys like remember that? Like, do you remember?
Those different dynamics though.
But that's what I'm saying. There's no presence. Like, and trust me, we've had the discussion about NXT being the tag team division. Like, that's the tag team division. Like, that's where you go to be a prevalent tag team division. Mm-hmm. Remember AOP for being dominant through the Dusty Rhodes Classic. You remember Finn and Samoa Joe winning it because they had to overcome a lot of shit to get to it in the first place. You remember American Alpha making their way through it. You remember FTR, who at the time won. You know what I'm saying? Like, you remember those guys. It's a reminder when you say, oh yeah, MSK won the Dusty Rhodes Classic. Oh shit, they did. It's a reminder. Like, it's not like they didn't run through the division and you'd have like a memorable moment of them like kicking ass or doing a crazy move or whatever. I can name you all those things from all those tag teams I named from that tag team because AOP was fucking destructive and scary as shit. And I had no idea how they were going to like, who was going to beat them in the first place. Hell, Finn and Joe, I was just waiting for them to get to the main event, but they still had great matches against all tag teams there in the first place. That's what I'm saying. This MSK thing, they cannot win the tag team championship. It was going to ruin them in NXT forever. It'll ruin them. It'll destroy them.
While you were saying that, I just really quickly, while you were saying that though, that NXT, that first crop of tag team talent you just mentioned, it was kind of like the golden era of WWE when they had all of that loaded tag team division. Mm-hmm. And now MSK and these guys, they're, the task here is they basically have to be that second generation that's going to live up to that expectation. And we just, they haven't necessarily cultivated that just yet. But that's just because if they get the titles, don't mean they can't do it while the titles are on them.
I mean, they can be like the Ascension.
That's a whole rabbit hole. I'm not even put that. I'm on same here. Alfonso, who you picking here?
I'm going with MSK because I feel like they have the rocket strap right now.
Okay, I can see that.
Like I feel like NXT is building their, like you say, is building their tag team division. And I think they're picking MSK to build it around. It's because they're young and they're going to be there for a while. Everybody else is either like getting ready to go out of there to the main roster or do something else. That's just how I feel.
Sure. Tim, what are you picking?
I'm going the same, man. Although I do think this is one of those moments too where you could put it on Grizzled Young Veterans because they have been there. They solid. They'd be able to carry that division and help to build these other guys, build MSK, build Legado del Fantasma. But it's just like Alfonso said, man, MSK has the rocket strap on them. So it's kind of hard to go against that, knowing that they've been anointed, if you will. So that's why I think I am going to go final answer MSK.
Okay, so
MSK is the Roman Reigns of NXT right now.
I like how you said that.
Okay. So here's the thing. Nobody's picking Legado del Fantasma. These dudes have went through so much. They've been kidnapped. They've been by masked wrestlers. They come out here, we don't know where they are. And then you have MSK, they got the rocket ship. You also have Grizzled Young Veterans, they come over. We're gonna go. This is the first time today. We're gonna go 50-50. I'm gonna go with Grizzled Young Veterans. Why? You know what? At this point, why call these guys over if you're not gonna give them the tag title? You could have left them in NXT UK at that point. Mm-hmm. The championships are all about the chase at times. Maybe MSK eventually gets them. At some point. It's not gonna be too long. I'm not saying Grizzled Young Veterans get this long, drawn out title run, but I'm gonna go Grizzled Young Veterans here. It's because you know what? It also gives a swerve because it's like, why should this be a precursor to winning the tag titles because you won a Dusty Rhodes Classic type thing? I'm gonna go with some. That's all.
That's true. That's true. But and then the other part for me is the Grizzled Young Veterans remind me so much of Lorcan and Birch.
They do.
You know what I mean?
No, I'm stop you there. You got to go
not
back.
Not personality wise, physicality wise. They have more personality.
More personality.
Go ahead, though.
I'm just
Go ahead though.
Kim said it right. Physicality.
I think the dude that does the flippy stuff, whatever his name is, he's amazing.
Oh gosh, now you sound like the McSheen now.
hey, real quick, bro. I want to shout out my bro right fast because he actually hopping on while he has to actually have work to do. So I want to shout him out right fast. If we could all just say peace out to Alfonso, I appreciate it, bro. I really appreciate you coming on the cast too, man. Thank you so much, bro. I appreciate you.
Thanks for having me, guys. This was fun. I hope I get to do this again on a day where I don't have to do
it. So where we at? Oh, we're at the main event. Night one. We have Io Shirai versus Raquel Gonzalez. Tim, who you picking?
Oh man. Y'all know how I feel about tall women.
I know.
Former WCW Raquel Gonzalez versus Io Shirai. Oh man. First and foremost, let me just say this is going to be a great freaking match. Great match. But if I had to pick, I do think Io is going to retain. But I do think she's only retaining because there's a storyline to be had here, and that's going to be the storyline that'll be the feud and breakup between Raquel and Dakota Kai. So, we haven't had Dakota show any signs of deceit just yet, but it's because it's going to happen in person right there during the match. She can cost her the match, or so. Normally, I would say, okay, yeah, she's gonna win, and then boom, she'll attack her afterwards. But I don't necessarily see it going that way. I see it literally being Dakota costing her the title, giving Io the advantage, go ahead and get the W, and then that sets off the feud because Dakota is easy. 1 + 1 = 2. I deserve that spot. She should have chose me. I should be NXT Women's Champion. Blah blah blah, and the story goes on from there, and it writes itself. But yeah, from there, that's going to be an awesome storyline. And plus, like we said before, prior to that, Dakota and Raquel is basically HBK and Diesel all over again. And basically, that storyline went very similar to kind of like what I'm saying is going to happen here.
Yeah.
And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I'm going to go with Io to retain, but it's going to be because of interference.
I think, honestly... Okay, this is my question, and it's probably would be better because I don't know. Where is Tegan Knox?
Tegan was injured. Now, I can't remember the extent of the injury.
Right, and this is why I'm asking this question, because I think this plays a big factor on how we're going to be able to dictate about what's going on, right? Like where exactly are we in the process of Tegan Knox? Because I know we're past the part of her. I know we're way past her. Like at least we got to be at least to the point where she's like physically wrestling again, and then actually actually because I haven't heard anything about Tegan Knox at all, and I think this plays a major part and what's going to happen next, because my pick is going to be Io. This is what happens end of the match. Io Shirai is losing badly, and it's not looking likely she makes comeback, lose again, and then the ref turns back. Team Kick comes out of nowhere, claps Raquel. Raquel's messed up. And she's like, "What are you doing?" Out of nowhere, Io Shirai does a tweener thing and probably hits her with something like an inanimate object or something. Hits her with a moonsault. Makes her like pass out. 1, 2, 3. It's over with, and then starts the whole thing. But you can keep this thing going with Raquel and Dakota if you have Tegan Knox part of this. Reason why, if you have Tegan Knox, for example, and you use her or whatever, what if she costs Raquel a championship the way Raquel cost her that street fight? Oh no! Getting real. Now it's a trifecta of stories all in one. Now it's complicated. The drama. What's going to happen? I think when she got injured, that was September.
That was October. I just looked. So October of 2020 is when that injury took place. The ACL tear.
All right, she's never come back. It's going to be like at least a year.
We're in March. So wait, that's November, December, January, February, March. So it's 5 months. So it's about due.
Nope, Triple H giving her Derrick Rose treatment. She.
Oh, he's monitoring her progress, like he's giving her the slow treat. Like
she on the minutes restriction.
Yeah, she is a hell of a restriction. Okay, I think personally.
So no hey pal from Trips to Tegan.
No.
Tegan 2 knees.
Yeah, no. You're not gonna bring it back, because remember I think it's the other knee she tore this time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she tore the left one at the.
Well, I think she already had both already. I don't know how many this is. This might be like the third one.
Yeah.
To the point where it's like, yeah.
Third one. Because Tegan Knox was the future. She's the future of WWE. That's solidified champion. Because she's amazing. Indie Tegan Knox is amazing. I watch indie matches of Tegan, but the thing of it is if you include Tegan Knox in this paradox of the story, now it is a dynamic thing that continues to push the envelope for certain things. I'm going to go with Io, only for the simple fact we don't know if Tegan Knox is going to come back and win. So, yeah.
I'm going to go with Raquel. It's her time to shine. The only reason I'll pick Raquel, too, is like, okay, so they introduced the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships, right? And then the first night they introduced them and present Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai as champions, they dropped them to Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart. There was no point in doing that unless you put the title on Raquel. Otherwise, it's just like you're burying both of them. It's bad enough that they buried Dakota Kai, who's been killing it and deserves a legitimate push where she gets something that's sustained. But at least this justifies it. Otherwise, it's like you're just burying both of them. It's bad enough to bury Dakota, but that's my reasoning behind it. I'm not saying this is a call up or anything of that's like that nature or anything, but you gotta go with Raquel Gonzalez there. It's just her time. She shows improvement every week. She's basically, we said numerous times, she's what Nia Jax should have been. She's polishing herself. She's as they called Diesel. I'm not calling him that. I'll call her that. She's big sexy. So there you have it. That's night one, ladies and gentlemen. Moving on to night two. It's still a big card on the hands. This isn't necessarily in any particular order. It's just how it's coming out of the top of my head. We have an unsanctioned match. We have one of the matches I'm looking forward to for sure. All of these matches, honestly, I'm looking forward to. They could all be potential match of the night candidates. But we have Kyle O'Reilly versus Adam Cole, baby. Joe, who you picking?
Adam Cole, baby! Sorry, couldn't help it. I couldn't help it. Honestly, I am going with Adam Cole. And the reason why I'm going with Adam Cole is for the following reason. If you are trying to make a brand that you want to gear something around, you need four staples, four of them. Gargano's one. If Ciampa beats Walter, that's one gone. So you need who is it, Cross? If he wins, and then you need another piece of that puzzle. Because if Finn wins, now you still have your three, and if Ciampa loses, you have your four. But that's your foundation right there. Cole may win this, and this may be a Shawn versus Triple H thing where it's a back and forth thing. But just like with Triple H and the Shawn thing, Triple H won out most of the pay-per-views because he was the prevalent star. Shawn was great, but Triple H earned that spot. I feel like Adam Cole is going to win this match, but hereafter it'll probably be Kyle O'Reilly because his potential is unmatched. And he's due. Kyle O'Reilly has been lighting up matches with freaking Finn Balor, Pete Dunne. And honestly, there's a match with Kyle O'Reilly versus Kyle O'Reilly versus Walter that was probably one of the best matches in the Indies that was rated at one point. So that's a possibility too. So if Walter pulls one out, who's to say Kyle O'Reilly won't go to NXT UK and just kill it over there? I'm going to go with Adam Cole on this one now.
All right, I can see that. Myself, I'm going to go with Kyle O'Reilly just because at this point, there's nothing else really for Adam Cole to do down in NXT. He's a Triple Crown champion. Kyle O'Reilly, on the other hand, has not gotten that. Like, he's gotten that rub, so to speak, as a singles competitor, but he hasn't won anything as a singles competitor. Eventually, I think Kyle O'Reilly is going to win an NXT North American Championship, so that obviously foreshadows who my pick is for that. For that match. But I'm going to go with Kyle O'Reilly there. Tim?
I'm there with you. I'm going to go with Kyle O'Reilly. I think this is how you continue to build him. I think you let me see how I want to say this because it's unsanctioned. So and he's due for a big W right now. He lost the couple of championship NXT titles that he had, matches he had against Finn. Came very close in those matches, great matches. But he like I said, he's due for that prime time like match that's going to legitimize him as far as right now in current day NXT. We know this is a feud that's taken place before where these guys can totally bring the house down. I'm looking forward, much like how I'm looking forward to Ciampa and Walter, I'm looking forward to this match right here, especially given that it has the unsanctioned aspect to it. And yeah, I'm looking for Kyle to have a breakout. This is the breakout moment because in my head, I think we're going Kyle carrying Cross down the line. I don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know where it's going to happen, but I definitely think that's the NXT Championship feud that we're going to see down the line sometime. And I think you start the building blocks with giving Kyle this victory against Adam Cole.
Absolutely. Well, I can see that happening. So, like I said, so we're in the same boat there. But moving on to the NXT Cruiserweight Championship, we have Santos Escobar in a title unification match against Jordan Devlin. Tim, who are you picking?
Santos Escobar. That's my man's, man. I like the dude. I think he's carried their Cruiserweight Championship in the right capacity. And given that I said I didn't necessarily see Kushida winning in that what is a 6-man match he's taking part of in night one, I think this is a great space and a great feud to set up for him after that match. And it's going to be something where both of these guys are going to benefit from going against each other, having this feud, building. The chemistry is going to be off the charts as far as the match is concerned. And I think this is kind of a good place for Kushida to land as far as being a Cruiserweight champion. So, yeah, I'm gonna go with Santos Escobar for the W.
Joe?
I want Jordan Devlin because I fucks with Jordan Devlin. I like Jordan Devlin. I actually think highly of Jordan Devlin because I think he's very underrated. And I just like him better as a Cruiserweight champion. I don't like Santos Escobar. Sorry. Maybe because he beat Swerve. That's probably why I don't like him. I don't know. I don't like him. He doesn't entertain me. He annoys me. Ring-wise, he does solid work, but he's not great. I don't know. I don't have a good reason. I don't want him to win. I'm just going to go with Jordan Devlin. That's all I got.
I'm going to go with Jordan Devlin just because although this match needed to happen, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, so you reintroduce Jordan Devlin and it's something fresh, something new type thing. So it's like Santos Escobar, he's one of the cruiserweights that, he's one of the Hispanic cruiserweights where he brings personality type thing, where he can clearly cut promos and it doesn't sound disheveled. Like he doesn't sound lost in translation, so I should say. So he has that aspect, and that's a new aspect from at least this generation, where it's like he doesn't need someone to talk for him. But with that being said, like I said, I just think like I'll go with Jordan Devlin. Like I said, it's just not good because if that was the case, if you weren't going to go with him as being the undisputed champion, why even bring him back into the fold as a champion? Could have just left him on Santos Escobar. It just doesn't make sense storyline wise to even reintroduce him if you don't have him win the title, in my opinion. But moving on from that, from night two, we also have the Women's Tag Team Championships on the line. We have Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon defending against Indie Wrestling, aka Indy Hartwell, and Candice LeRae. Joe, who you picking?
I am going to go with Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell because they're due. I like them. I actually like what they have going. And their finisher was pretty dope the last time I saw it. It was awesome. I was a fan of it. I was like, oh, that's pretty dope. And I think Indy Hartwell is actually the future. She's probably going to be good. I learned on Candice LeRae is somebody who's been in the Indies and someone who does just good matches overall. It's just going to be a beneficial thing overall. So I'm really excited to see what they do. I'm also very excited to see how well they work and how well they put things together and put things in motion. So I'm going to go with Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae. Indie Wrestling Rules.
Indie Wrestling Rules. I like that. Tim, who are you picking?
I'm actually going to agree with Joe here, and I'm going to go with Indy and Candice LeRae to win the Women's Tag Team Championship, NXT Women's Tag Team Championship, that is. This has, like Joe said, Candice totally deserves it. Indy is that up-and-comer that's learning from the grizzled young vet, pun intended.
Usually there.
But, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think this is the right placement. And it's more fun to see the babyface chase the heel. And with the Wave being as prominent and as entertaining as they are as a family, as a unit, them having the women's tag team titles right now feels like the right move to make. And it gives you the opportunity to continue to build Shotzi, continue to build with Ember right there by her side. Her having her veteran there with her too. These women, Indy and Shotzi, are the future of NXT wrestling and eventually main roster. But so I'm gonna go. But for now, I'm gonna go with Indy and Candice LeRae for the W at Takedown Night 2.
Okay, so here's the thing. I'll be the outlier here. I'll pick Shotzi and Ember just because I'm one of those people where I don't like hot potato with championships. They just introduced these women's tag team championships less than a month ago. I don't need to see a third champion already because it brings no legitimacy to those titles whatsoever. Mm-hmm. As much as I would like to see Indy and Candice with that, because Candice it's not to say just because you worked in the Indies you paid your dues. No, like Candice is legit either way. I don't care whether she worked in Indies or not. You just watch her matches. But I just don't like the hot potato thing. It's not productive for the championships, in my opinion. That's why we're hot take. That's why we disagree sometimes. That's why we agree sometimes. With that being said, we're going to move on to the North American Championship. I believe we all picked our predictions earlier in this podcast episode. So who are you picking to win or that match against Johnny Gargano from our picks earlier?
I believe Dexter was my pick for the 6-man match. So I'm going to go with Dexter to finally grab gold. But wait, there's more. I'm going to take it back to a couple of months ago when Dexter was leaving illustrations of himself and one Velveteen one, possibly being a tandem, trying to go after the tag team titles in NXT. Though that didn't transpire, I do think that left the blueprint and the remnants of a potential feud for Dexter Lumis. And who better than the Velveteen one, even though I know he's got crazy stuff going on outside of the world of wrestling. He's been off of the scene for a while. But outside of Gargano being there as a good wrestling dance partner, why not add Velveteen to that mix? So I'm picking Dexter to win. And the moment Dexter grabs that title, boom, the Velveteen one comes out there and attacks.
Wow. They're back there in this Velveteen dream. That was deep. Exactly. That was deep. Yeah. Joe, he picked
Gargano, because that's the way. Pun intended and all. That's right. That's how I'm doing it. I think Johnny Gargano is showing you so many levels of awesomeness that you have to keep this title on him. Come on. You have to. You have to let him build up other people so the competition thrives in NXT, and that way he can stay there. So he has to win this title, and then you got to have everybody else compete for this title, and then finally have someone who just, okay, they're hot. You got to give it to him. Dexter Lumis is hot, but not like, he's not white hot. He's not like Dolph Ziggler hot in 2012 with the briefcase hot. Like, he's hot, but he's not that hot. I think for now, you make the match really interesting, and then you maybe give them a long feud, which I'm totally for, and then give it to him, but not right now. Don't give it to him right now. So give Johnny Gargano. Gargano for the win, because that's the way.
I got to pick Gargano as well. It's you know what, it's not a one-way driving time. You know what? So this is it's a two-way street. But with that being said, the right way to go, all the puns intended, is go with Johnny Gargano here, just because, like as I said earlier, I feel like Kyle O'Reilly's due for a singles push. Right. So I believe we'll get that later to take over. It's just, it's not time for anyone else for me, because unless you do another heel taking the title off of him, how do you set up Kyle O'Reilly? That's how I feel. Because whether Kyle O'Reilly comes out as a winner or loser against Matthew Adam Cole, I feel like it's irrelevant. I feel like that's the next move for him. Because he came up short in NXT Championship chase run. You don't put him back into that picture, but it's not, you still want to utilize him as a singles competitor. So that's why I'm picking Johnny Gargano here. And we've gotten to the meat and potatoes of night two. We've got Finn Balor versus Karrion Kross. These two guys are going to tear each other apart. I'll lead off here. I'm picking Karrion Kross. Finn Balor's had a great run with the NXT Championship. He's had matches against Kyle O'Reilly. There's been standout performances on both TakeOver 31 and on NXT TV. He had a great showing against P. Dunne as well, and basically in a match that could have been NXT UK worthy. You know what? He came out as victorious. He's had great matches against Adam Cole as well. He's done a great job of putting his ego aside and reinventing himself on NXT TV. With that being said, he's going to do the job, I feel like. I'm picking Karrion Kross. Tim?
Oh, man. Let me just say, first and foremost, that this is going to be an awesome match, man. This event is going to be a great event for NXT. I know everyone's made a whole big thing about the Wednesday Night War and all that crap, but when you get to the meat and potatoes, this is where NXT excels. And just the story building, the matches, the quality of the matches is just, there is really no comparison at times. But we knew this moment was happening. We knew this buildup was all about the Prince versus Karrion Kross. And I'll be honest, man, I'm torn. I really don't know who to pick. I want to go with Finn in my heart of hearts. I want Finn to retain. Karrion can't be denied, man. He can't be denied. And I think with Scarlett right there at ringside in his corner, that just gives him the added advantage. And it's going to be brutal. It won't be Walter and Ciampa brutal, but it's going to be a brutal match. It's going to be a stiff match. Pause. And I think at the end of it, we're going to see Finn fall and pray. Pun intended. So I'm going to go with Karrion Kross for the W. New NXT champion.
No. If you're going to aim for the Prince, you best not miss. You heard what he said. He said what he said. And I think this is where there has to come to a point where Karrion Kross becomes human. There has to come to that point. It has to get to the point where Karrion Kross becomes a competitor. Who better do it than Finn Balor? If Keith Lee can't do it to make Karrion Kross a human being, where it's like, all right, he's a competitor and he does bleed, then it's got to be Finn Balor. Who else is going to do it? Who else? Who? Bronson? No, we don't believe him. He can barely talk. No.
Kyle O'Reilly.
No. Hell no. I'm sorry. Listen. Give me the dude in the leather jacket that might be a demon or might not be a demon. That's the guy I want. Do not give me Kyle O'Reilly, who has great charisma and can submit him. I don't care about that. Give me the dude that was a demon at first and then was a wrestler and is now a prince. That's the guy I want. Him. Don't you give me Kyle O'Reilly. I don't want that.
It takes a demon to kill a demon.
Exactly. Give me the demon. Give me the demon. That's what I want.
You're not getting the demon right now.
I'm not. But I am giving the Prince of Darkness. Think about it.
I don't know, man.
Think about it. I'm telling you, bro. Like this is not going to be a match for the faint of heart. But at the same time, this is not going to be the match that we think it's going to be. It's not like I'm gonna take him to deep water. You're gonna take him to deep water. You're gonna drown him, and that's gonna be it. That's it. There is nothing else for us to talk about right now. It's Finn. It has to be Finn. Karrion Kross is not gonna take this man out like that, bro. If he does, I would not be surprised. However, at some point, Karrion Kross has to become. There has to be an armor in the shink of the shield, so other people can be like, "Oh, this now got interesting." It has to get interesting. It can't be Karrion Kross run through the rec shop like he's Brock Lesnar in NXT. It can't be that way.
I know you're making your pick, but I just want to say really quickly, like, Finn wins, then what's next?
If Finn wins at this point, now you make it very interesting because once Finn wins, now you open up the field because now somebody else got to sign and somebody else got to do other stuff. It's NXT has so much talent that you can open the doors back open for Cole and Finn if you wanted to, or if something drastically changes, which I'm pretty sure NXT is gonna give to us, you can open those doors back up to somebody from the main roster. What if Rico shows up? You tell me you don't want to see Finn versus Rico? What? Sid?
I'd love that, but I don't know if it's gonna happen. Go ahead, though.
Sid's got some free time now too. He ain't with the Hurt Business. You don't want to see Sid versus Finn? What if Sheldon comes down or whatever? Like, the possibilities of Finn wrestling these guys is not someone who's like an indie guy that learned the WWE system. It's a guy that knows the WWE system and can move in all parameters. He can go everywhere. So you're not locked into having him like wrestle somebody he wrestles from the indies. He can wrestle everybody, every single person.
I'll just say this. The only person for the main roster I really wanted, like, I'd definitely be intrigued by Finn and Rico, but I'll piggyback off that. Other than that, the only other person like where I can see them taking the title off Finn is they send Aleister Black back there, and I love that, but will we get that? So Finn and Aleister Black, I'd definitely be down for that. So I see where Joe's going with it. I just think they won't do it just because it doesn't seem like they're really experimenting with the main roster. Because if they were, real talk, we would have finally got what Daniel Bryan's been asking for. Before he retires, he said he wants Johnny Gargano. Johnny Gargano don't want to go to the main roster. This was their opportunity to be like, you know what, DB, you're going down to NXT. You know what, you'll enter this gauntlet. Well, because they both want the match in a sense. But they're not doing that. I'm not saying like, so obviously, you know, Daniel Bryan has more pull than other people on the main roster. It goes without saying. But they haven't really utilized that outside of Charlotte, it seems like, where it's like these people experiment and then they go back. Because there's definitely possibilities, sure. I'd love to see guys who they keep saying they want to, but we haven't seen it. We've heard rumors that Randy Orton wants to go down there. We've heard rumors that AJ Styles wants to go down. I'd be down for both of those feuds, AJ Styles versus Finn Balor if he retains, or AJ Styles or Finn Balor versus Randy Orton. We haven't seen that at all, I don't think. I definitely love that. I'm 100% on board for that, a heel Randy Orton versus this Finn Balor that totes the line between babyface and tweener, where it's like he's not clamoring, obviously, for approval as he was in the main roster and just there to collect the check. I just don't know if it'll happen, but I definitely see where you're going. So I'll say that.
You got to show it just like at 300. You got to at least show him that the guy can bleed at least once. You know what I'm saying? Like,
for sure.
So I think that's something, and I think we got some of that with El Phantasmo, but you know,
yeah. There's two toss-ups on the card for sure. Right. If you were to rank the 10 matches, there are two toss-ups. There's Kushida and Pete Dunne, and then there's Finn Balor and there's multiple toss-ups because Cole and O'Reilly's a toss-up. But yeah, this is a toss-up as well. So I'll say there's probably like three. I feel like the rest of the card on my end, I can't say for you two, we're going to speak, but those are like the toss-ups for me, those three out of the 10 matches. I think it's about that time. We'll go positive to negative, or do you want to go negative to positive? Should we switch it up and switch it up and go to like? Go ahead.
I want to kind of go. I always want to go positive to negative.
Okay, so here we go. WNUA 95.5.
Switch my music. Yeah, here we go. That's right. It's WCW time, man. You know what time it is. Get a little bubbly in you. A little bit of the bubbly, if you will. You see what I did there? Do you like that? I bet you do. Our WCW goes out to Miss Maddie Rankowski, who I actually saw in AEW Dark. And her match was actually really good. I was really impressed by her. So I was like, you know what? Let me shout her out or whatever, because she had an amazing match on AEW Dark. She also beat Blue Pants, which is not really like, you know, a huge deal, but that's relevant. You know, beating Blue Pants is a big deal. She beat Alexa Bliss, so we should applaud that. But she's a young up-and-coming star in AEW. She's won a title everywhere she's gone. I think in one point she was in a independent wrestling promotion, and she won the title in Hell for a long period of time. She's very athletic, has a lot of ability, has a lot of potential as well. I am a big fan of her thus far, and I'm a big fan of her work. Maddie Rankowski, this WCW goes to you. Show her highlights and stuff. Look at it. Look at that. Look at that highlight. Look at that. Highlight after highlight. I'm just throwing highlights at you, right? You can't even see me right now. It's great. Cut the music off now. WCW.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's probably that time of the week. Get the dirt ready. Get the soil ready, whether it's organic or natural, whether it's chia or it's our golden shovel of the week. Who wants to start? I'll be the Pat McAfee once again and punt off. Who wants to start? I'll start. Whatever, no matter.
I'll start.
Go ahead, please do.
Now, the announcement of the golden shovel, the very first golden shovels we gave out, there was a gentleman by the name of Terry Bollea, otherwise known as Hulk Hogan. And I said that day that Hogan basically is going to have a permanent golden shovel. And much to my delight, not to my delight, but much to, the truth here, he's receiving it yet again. So I saw a bit of an intro. It was a preview for Corey Graves' podcast. He's doing an interview, and they were talking about his match at WrestleMania 6 between Ultimate Warrior and himself. And in this preview, he says that he wanted to turn at the end of the match after giving Ultimate Warrior the title. So he said he wanted to become Hollywood Hulk Hogan at that moment. Hogan, you are a liar, you're a cheater, and you're full of shit. Me being a kid who adored Hulk Hogan, eating my vegetables and taking my vitamins, I was a Flintstone kid because I wanted to do what Hulk Hogan told me to do. And you continue to disappoint me as an adult, as I've found out how big of a piece of shit you are. So you're utilizing people that aren't here anymore to either tell if this is in fact a true story, to verify it, or not. It's never ending with this dude. He hugged everybody literally the day before they died, and they kissed and made up. Oh, I hugged Macho and I told him I love him. We heard that. We visibly saw Ultimate Warrior still didn't want anything to do with Hulk Hogan before his untimely passing. We see, and I love Mark Henry for this. Mark Henry wants nothing to do with Terry Bollea. And he makes it known. Doesn't clap, doesn't smile. You get in the nice smug every time they're out there on the stage together. And God bless you, Mark. I love you. Terry Bollea, you continuing it. Shovel it up, man. Shovel it up. Joe, can we find a shoveling sound effect for this? Because this dude, he continues to, at this point, he's 12 feet deep. Fuck 6 feet.
He 18 feet. That's the third golden shovel for Terry Bollea. That's the third one. Oh my God.
18 feet deep.
Yeah, I told you he's a lifetime golden shovel.
I want it to be Triple H, Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
All right, I can turn my head back now.
All right. Who wants to go next? I mean, it's only one or two options, but it's up to you, Joe. You want to go next?
Allow me, because my golden shovel isn't that skating this week. My golden shovel is actually going to my hero, Triple H. You weren't here earlier when we were talking about it. Andrade said he spoke with Sportskeeda and he told about his last conversation with Triple H. And the discussion was Triple H basically like, hey, I don't want you in the main roster anymore. I want you on NXT because you're a star down there. You're not a star up here. Which is real truth, which is true. My issue with Triple H is the following. As someone who has power in the company and who has power over certain aspects of that, of just talent in general, why are you not going after Ricochet? Ricochet are too in your brand. Why are you asking Andrade to go back down when Andrade potentially is having great matches with like Rey Mysterio? If you can pull your weight like that, why are you not picking pieces of talent that you can be getting right now? Why is that? Why is this the move right now? And don't get me wrong, he's absolutely right about Andrade, and he's not wrong about that. But my thing is if you have so much talent on that main roster that's being underutilized, why aren't you saying, hey, come on down to NXT for you. I might have something for you for a little while. So you get your feet wet. Triple H, where's Keith Lee? Where is he? Where's Keith Lee? What do you plan on doing with Dominik Dijakovic? Because they're not going to use him for the main roster at all, or any of those other things or whatever. Why are you picking certain pieces of talent? Because let me get something abundantly clear and very much so, very, 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 very truthful, very accurate. The fact that Ricochet was not either a Triple Crown champion in NXT, and nor did he get to sniff the NXT championship is a crying shame. Because as one of the first, because Adam Cole's first, one of the first North American champions, he laid the groundwork for that for you. As someone like, that was the one who was the worker. That was the one who earned it. He worked it. He worked all those things or whatever. Triple H, where the fuck is Velveteen Dream right now? Where are your pieces, bro? Like, I am a huge fan of Triple H. I am a huge fan of Triple H on in the ring and out of the ring too, because I feel like he's done a lot of great things. My issue lies though, why is he throwing his power around with certain wrestlers, but not with the ones that he needs to be using? I will fight to the day I die for him to get Ricochet, to get Aleister Black back, to get any of those guys back that were in the main roster. Because at this point, they're not being used, bro. Go get your superstars. You're not letting Ciampa go up. And you're damn sure letting Gargano go up. I guarantee you won't let Cole go up, and he don't want to go up. None of those guys want to go up. None of them. That's where you go to die, WWE land. That's where you go to die to get speared by Roman, the tribal chief. Triple H. Get shit together. Throw your power around the right way. Tell Daddy to go sit his ass down. Revamp Raw. Revamp SmackDown. Triple H. Keep NXT the same way and try to revolutionize that. Which, come on, bro, do this shit, bro. You got to, take Old Yeller out, bro. It's time. It's time, Triple H. It's time. That's all I got. KG, man, whatever you're
at. Here we go. There's another person who almost seems like this is like third or fourth coach. The Machine. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of seeing your son on the WrestleMania card. This is the 5th time in 6 years. Meanwhile, people are like Ricochet on the sidelines doing nothing for WrestleMania. Oh no, we got a spot for you on WrestleMania SmackDown, which is another thing in itself because you have the Street Profits, who has been clearly your most charismatic tag team. Oh, my fault. You don't care about tag team wrestling. That's why the New Day are facing Omos and AJ Styles. Oh, my fault. You also don't care about tag team wrestling. That's why the worst wrestler in the roster, Nia Jax, is on the card. Yet Bayley is not on your WrestleMania 37 card. The most valuable women's wrestler you've had not even just women's wrestling. He's the most 5 valuable wrestlers you've had in the last year. Maybe even higher than 5. Maybe top 2 or 3 the last year during the pandemic, outside of Drew and Roman. Even maybe higher than Roman, because Roman's only been back. As crazy as he's been killing it, he's been back for 4 or 5, well, 7 months. You don't have a spot for Babe. You got WrestleMania SmackDown. You split up the Hurt Business, which is the worst move leading up to WrestleMania since you shoehorned Charlotte into the main event, where we clearly wanted Becky and Ronda Rousey in a singles match. That's why nobody wanted that as the main event, because you shoehorned her into the main event. At that point where you're like, you know what, give us Kofi and DB. You didn't even give us that. You're out of touch. You need to just step aside at this point. It's beyond ridiculous. Like, no one approves of the things you do. There's no rhyme or reason for it. You give us more Baron Corbin, who nobody asked for in Monday Night Raw. It's bad enough we got to sit through 3 hours, and you get one of the worst wrestlers, another one of the worst wrestlers you have on the roster. He's better at his promos, I'll give him that, but like, nobody's clamoring to see Baron Corbin on the TV screen at this point. Like, give up on this dude. Either put the title on him or stop pushing him. Like, you keep him in the upper mid card for no reason. Meanwhile, rest in peace, God rest his soul. You had nothing for Brody Lee, but you have numerous opportunities for Baron Corbin to be pushed in the upper mid card. I'm done. That's it. That's all I got.
And the simple fact that you somehow finagled your way to throw your power to get Baron Corbin on Raw is just another insight of how much you believe in this mediocre wrestler. I say mediocre because he's done some good things with the Deep Six by protecting Edge. That's all I have, though. Like, that's really all I've got. And other than that, like, because other than that, though, like, come on. Why are you pushing these guys that can barely hold a 20-minute match that is interesting? Baron Corbin does not have a 3-star match. Not one. You can't show me a match with 3. Baron Corbin struggled against Samoa Joe when he did TakeOver. Baron Corbin struggled against Dolph Ziggler in their match because Dolph had to carry most of that match. Every match Baron Corbin has of some significance had to be carried. Roman Reigns literally was dragging that man by the last thread of follicle in his head.
Receding hairline.
In his hairline, bro. Baron Corbin is flat out dumpster fire entertainment. You watch it to watch it burn. You don't watch it because you want to see the flames go higher. You watch to watch it burn in awe because you can't turn away. Baron Corbin is bad car accident. You just hope the other person's okay. That's it, bro. Like, Baron Corbin is not, he hasn't had great matches. He has solid moves. Deep Six and the end of days. That's it. Don't get me started on the creative moves he does, all other bullshit. So I'm done, bro. Let's get the fuck out of here. I'm getting mad all over again. Shit.
Told you. It's bad, man. It's bad business.
Baron fucking Corbin, that McShane. Rico's sitting there, and you breaking up your group on Raw, one of the best groups that bought you more than lucrative opportunities and has brought in a different dynamic and demographic to your television show, but you want to break up the group. Why? Because you want to go have the match with Drew McIntyre and you want it even. Make the story a great story. Do exactly what you wanted to do. Make the Hurt Business the bad guys and have Drew overcome them to make him look stronger. In the end, you win. When you break up this group, what are you going to do with Bobby Lashley and MVP? What, you're going to really push them? No, you're not. You squashed Kofi in 8 seconds with Brock Lesnar. We're not over that either, you ass. Shut up. I hate this guy. Jesus Christ.
It's bad, man. I told you. He's another like lifetime golden shovel. Because the stuff just doesn't make sense. It's like it's not like you can't be wrong. As we said before we got on this podcast, people say we love AEW. That's not entirely true. Like, they have way too many heel stables. They have like 5 heel stables right now.
Right.
To me, there should never be more than 2 on one show. Like, if there's a brand, yeah, go ahead, Joe.
But they make it easy. Like, they make it easy to like these guys because they got a lot of personality and they're really cool.
Yeah. That's true. At least there's something, even if they don't get pushed, there's something that like brings you in.
Right.
But
with Raw and SmackDown, there's nothing for you to hold. There's nothing tangible to hold on to, but pieces of a show. There's pieces of a show. The Hurt Business was your last dynamic piece on that show. You have not one good storyline on Raw at all. Not one.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Because they've kind of cooled off on Drew, and he's still intriguing, but like I praised it earlier last year, but now this Orton stuff's just gotten too weird.
The Orton stuff it's too Bloomhouse. It's too Dimension Films. No, that's not. Now you guys are just pressing for time. You better thank God AEW's not on Mondays. Thank God AEW. You better praise God.
Yeah. They got their little streaming show though on Monday now.
Well, yeah, no, but he's talking about like on network television because at this point, like it's not even just losing the skinny like Goldberg, but this stuff with the Fiend is just. Like I said, like a month ago, I'm done with the Fiend. Like just mostly because of Vince. Because it's not believable anymore with Bray Wyatt in general. It's because like either believe in this guy and push him or push him to the side. Like there's been like 4 or 5 people he's invested in the last 4 or 5 years. It's been like Roman, Seth, Charlotte, Bray, and maybe DB. I would say he's been injured off and on. But either push the guy or give up on him. Like I'm tired of this in between stuff. Like
right,
or just bring somebody else into the forefront. Like it's enough of this. Like either the guy's gonna be one of your staple points or he's not. I guess Orton would be up there because they've kind of pushed him in and out of the. But
it's gotta get to a point, bro. Like okay, hey, we got to be done. We have to be done with certain things. Let's stop bringing up teams at their height. The way that the Shield was broken up was perfect. That was the perfect way to break up and dismantle the Shield. That was perfect. The way Evolution broke up, that was perfect. Perfect timing to break up that actual faction. You're doing it with the Hurt Business now, and now you have nowhere else for the 4 of them to go. I'm done, bro. I'm done. Get us out of here, old man Logan, KG. Somebody get us out of here. I'm angry. I'm angry.
All right, man. Want to thank Fonzo for coming through. Definitely was a nice little shot in the arm there, bringing some of his wrestling, fandom to the show. So thank you for coming through. Looking forward to having him as we talk about WrestleMania next week. Make sure y'all listen to the podcast, like, share, and subscribe. We are on Anchor, SoundCloud, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, iHeartRadio. Make sure you hit the subscribe and notification bell on YouTube at NMG TV. All righty. So let's see. Joe, not there.
One last thing before we sign off. Putting Shane McMahon in the WrestleMania card is like going to the store and like going to the alcohol department and just getting like the bottle that just says whiskey. Like, that's it.
It's like going there and getting Arbor Mist and expecting to get drunk. That's what it's like.
Buff Bagwell.
That's it. That's all I got.
All right, man. So not here, not there, but right here. Peace. Thanks for listening to the Hot Take Wrestling Podcast. The Hot Take Wrestling Podcast is brought to you by the NMG Network, a division of NMG Enterprises, LLC.